People see the punch. They see the explosion, the lightning strike, the roar. But what they don't see is the silence behind it, the stillness that breathes just before the storm. A warrior is not born in chaos. A warrior is born in stillness, because only when the mind is still can the body strike without hesitation. When I trained, I wasn't chasing noise. I was listening for silence, the silence between movements, the silence between breaths, the silence where clarity lives. In battle, a man who is consumed by emotion cannot see. Rage blinds, fear freezes, but stillness cuts through everything. That is why I train my mind before I train my fists. I learned to quiet the world inside me, to silence the chatter, to still the storm, because the greatest storm is not out there. It's in here, in the mind, and if you cannot command that storm, you will lose every fight before it begins. When I step onto the mat, I don't just breathe air. I breathe awareness. I feel the floor beneath my feet. I feel the energy in the room, and inside me, everything becomes calm. The world may shout, but inside me, there is only the sound of my own heartbeat, and in that rhythm, I find power. People often think power is loud. No, real power moves in silence. The quiet fighter is the one to fear, because silence is not weakness. Silence is precision. Silence is control. I do not fear the man who screams before a punch. I fear the one whose breath is steady, whose eyes are still. I have always believed, the calmer you are, the more dangerous you become. Because when the world rages and you do not, you own the moment. Chaos cannot touch a man who stands still within it. There were times when the noise of the world tried to drown me. Fame, pressure, expectations. People wanted me to be everything except myself. But I refused to let the outside world rule my inside world. So I went into silence. I trained. I breathed. I returned to that place within me where nothing can shake me. A man who owns his mind owns the fight. Meditation was not just something I did. It was something I lived. Every kick, every punch, every breath, all of it was meditation. Training was not just movement, it was presence. When you are present, truly present, time slows, fear disappears. The body moves as if guided by something greater. I saw fighters crumble, not because they were weak, but because they were loud inside. The storm in their minds drowned their strength. A loud mind is a broken sword, but a silent mind is a blade so sharp it cuts before the enemy blinks. That is why stillness is my true weapon. Not my fists, not my kicks. Stillness. The storm outside will always come. You cannot stop the storm, but you can stop it from controlling you. The man who learns this becomes unstoppable. I remember standing in front of opponents who were taller, heavier, meaner, but they looked into my eyes and saw nothing. No fear, no noise, only stillness. And that frightened them more than any shout could. Because stillness is unreadable. Stillness is unpredictable. Stillness is power. Warriors who panic, react. Warriors who are still control. In stillness, I can see the opening before it exists. I can feel the strike before it's thrown. I can respond before the word has caught up. Because I am not moving from emotion, I am moving from clarity. I train my body to obey, my mind to lead, but my spirit I trained to be still. Because the spirit is the root. If the root wavers, the tree falls. But if the root is still, even the strongest winds cannot move it. Many men chase power. Few learn control. Power without stillness destroys itself. Stillness turns power into precision. Precision turns a man into a weapon. That's why my movements looked effortless, because behind every strike was silence. When the cameras came, when the crowd screamed my name, I didn't let the noise touch me, because fame is just another storm, a louder one. I stayed in the same place inside, the place that belonged to me, the place no one could reach. When you understand stillness, you stop chasing, you stop proving, you stop fighting shadows, you start flowing, you become water, and water has no resistance inside itself. It simply moves, and because it moves without resistance, it can move through anything. A loud mind seeks control of the world. A still mind already controls itself. That is the difference between a fighter and a master. In training, my students wanted me to teach them the perfect punch. I told them, the perfect punch is not in your hands, it's in your mind. When your mind is still, your punch is perfect. No hesitation, no clutter, no noise, only clarity. I've seen men destroyed by fear before the fight even began, not because the enemy was stronger, but because their own mind betrayed them. Fear is loud, doubt is loud, ego is loud, stillness is quiet, and quiet always wins. Even in my final days, I sat with myself in silence, because silence is where I found who I truly am. Not the actor, not the fighter, the warrior within, unshaken, unmoved, unbroken. The world moves fast. Fame comes and goes. Battles begin and end. But the warrior who masters stillness remains. To you listening now, if you wish to become powerful, learn to become quiet. If you wish to become dangerous, learn to become still. Because when your enemy screams and you do not, you've already won half the war. I am Bruce Lee. I did not win because I was the loudest. I won because I was the calmest. I did not conquer the world. I conquered myself. And that changed everything. I am Bruce Lee. I am the stillness within the storm. And from that stillness, I strike.